We check in with Kevin Iole on a little MMA news away from the cage and the octagon and the ring. Some of the hearing stuff going down with California. You've got two fighters dealing with their battles and positive steroid tests. The background story is Josh Barnett. The big one, obviously, is Chael Sonnen. So what do you hear on this? Some of the information that's been released the last day or so. I mean, the levels of testosterone were very high in Chael's system.
Yeah, Mike Chiappetta from Fan House did a really good story, MMAfighting.com, and detailing some of the response. But Chael admitted to the commission that he took a shot of testosterone. He did the same thing before the Yushin Okami fight, UFC 104 in Los Angeles, and was okay. Apparently, they're going to argue that this was something that was medically necessary for him. There was a change of commission between UFC 104 and UFC 116 or 117 that Chael fought Anderson Silva on. So they had a change in leadership in the commission, and so I think that may be something to do with it. So Howard Jacobs, who is Chael's attorney, I believe, is going to argue that this is medically necessary, that he did disclose, and that he shouldn't face any punishment. It's going to be very, very important, because if Chael does get the year suspension, that's really going to put him far behind. He's going to lose a ton of money on that, Steve, and he's going to lose a title shot. Who knows what else?
You don't have all the evidence in front of you, but you're a veteran of covering the fight game. You've seen these positive steroid tests. You've heard the excuses in the past. Do you buy it? Would you reduce his suspension?
Without knowing the facts, I can't say whether I would or I wouldn't, but what I'm going to say is this. I think he's going to end up with some kind of penalty. I think he may get lucky and have it reduced a little bit. Instead of a year suspension, maybe a 6-month suspension, and given time served, that would bring him back, sometime in March, where he'd be able to fight, and then it wouldn't be such a big problem. But I do think he's going to, no matter what happens, they're going to say it's incumbent upon you to make sure the commission approves what you're doing and knows what you're doing in advance. And I think there was some miscommunication and paperwork errors here, and as a result, I think he's going to serve some kind of penalty. James Toney, when he was in boxing, had his steroid suspension reduced on the second time from a year to 6 months. I think Chael may be able to get that, but I don't think he's going to get it wiped out entirely.
In the end, do you think if it gets reduced, do you think MMA and especially casual MMA fans will understand the technicalities of this, or is it just bad across the board if it gets reduced?
I think, you know what, I think, people are so wary of steroids that, I don't think that no matter what happens, once your name is associated with steroids, it's like guilt by association, even if you're turning out to be innocent. And, there's a lot of guys that are guilty, but there's also a lot that are innocent that haven't taken it. So I think, unfortunately, that's something that, athletes in this modern era have to live with, and I think that they're going to have that cloud over them.